motherfucking house. Just the pretty motherfucking home. And I am a motherfucking man. Motherfucking Apache. And I don't give a fuck. Gonna let you motherfuckers know how to make money. So when
Welcome, golf fans, pursuers of knowledge and the almighty dollar. This is your golf guru bringing you the 2021 Bermuda Championship, my top plays and fades. So let's do this. Real quick for folks that might have not got to see my first look, just wanted to give you a little background information on the course and some history of it. This is played in Southampton, Bermuda. It's a par 71, less than 7,000 yards. It is at the Port Royal Golf Club. This is the second PGA event held here. Last year was the first event. You had Brendan Todd taking it home where he, I believe on the final round, shot like 13 birdies in a row. He was hitting crazy irons and making his putts. The two things that you are going to need to be successful. You can look at some of the past history of winners. I'd say the two that stick out that are a little unique is Harry Higgs and Scheffler, where I think this is not set up so much for bombers, but again, it's the field, right, that you get here. But Scheffler and Higgs, they had a nice around the green game. They also made a lot of putts. I believe Scheffler almost, I think, led the first day of this event. But anyways, you got Bermuda grass on the fairways and the greens. The greens are rated Velcro, which is very rare on the PGA Tour. So that is less than 13 on a Stimpmeter. I'd guess it's somewhere around 12. The greens that we just saw at the Zozo were at 12 and a half. So these are definitely slower than that. So somewhere I would guess between 11 and 12. Could they get them shorter? I guess, but they could maybe lose them. So that's why they don't. The purse is $1 million more this year. There is no other event. So this is not an alternate event. This is the only PGA event. So an extra $1 million is in the pool. So the winner, instead of taking like 400 or 500 grand home this year, they're going to take 700 plus. They also will get invited to the Masters 2021 next year, not the one that's coming up in a couple weeks. And also that is 500 FedEx points going to the winner, where last year they took that 500 points and spread it over the field. And then below you can kind of see the big defense for this course is wind. And we do have quite a bit of wind that is going to be coming up right now, predicted on Windfinder. If you pull up Windfinder and look at Bermuda, Thursday doesn't look that bad, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be blowing somewhere between 20 to up to 30 knots at times. So that is going to have an effect. And I have kind of put that into some of the correlation models and information that we'll be looking at. And so also because we only have 1 year of data and we don't have shot link data here, if you think of these island kind of events like Corrales or also this event, they don't send people over to set up all the equipment. So what you do get is you get like fairways and reg, you get green and reg, stuff like that, but you don't get the analytical data. So what we have to do then is also leverage comp courses that are very similar from a Bermuda green side, from like Harbor Island, they're up at the top left, that are on, the oceans. I'm looking at Corrales. And then, like I said, Valspar and Byron Nelson, Innsbruck plays in due to, like I said, just the correlation from length and type of grass. So real quick, this is a model I ran. The key areas that I'm looking at this week, I think approach is huge. There's a ton of par 4s on here. It's not like last week. We had 3 par 5s, I think 4 par 3s, but the rest are par 4s. So par 4 scoring, approach is going to be key. Putting is going to be key here. It's going to be a bit of a putt-a-thon. The majority of the par 4s are between 350 and 4 or 4 and 450. There's definitely gettable par 5s. So we're looking at eagles. You're going to need to make birdies. I believe Todd shot 23 under last year. I think the cut was 1 under. So I see it very similar, unless, like I said, the wind kicks up crazy and that affects the score. Scrambling did show up on something to look at, so that's in here. And then I did 2 models. You're going to see that. One, with this one, I did still look at driving distance and fairways gain. I mean, the rough is not penal here. But, Brendan Todd hit a lot of fairways, I think 70%, which, definitely helps you on your approach. But, of course, greens and reg, as I mentioned, and bogey avoidance. Again, going back to the putter. And then what I'm doing is looking for names that are popping up in multiple different areas, and then do an analysis deeper on them. So you could see those are the 4 guys that kind of resonated and showed up a bit over and over as I kind of moved through my model. This is just simply looking at Corrales, how the guys did against my key area indicators. And you can see Norlander and Stallings popped up. Some of the other guys did too. I didn't highlight them here, like Roach, and I'm trying to think of somebody else that was kind of on it, like Laboda. Now, this is the top 20 best iron and short game players on Bermuda Green. So this, I almost leverage this more. This kind of takes out the driving and really focuses in on the proximity to the hole. So really focusing on the iron play. I really jacked up the putting and just worried more about approach and greens. And so this one, almost more than just the recent form one, was more important to me. And this is how, again, what I'm trying to explain to you is how I went about coming about picking the players that you're going to get here. I think a lot of the guys in the industry kind of, off past knowledge, and, and I'm sure they've done their research too, but they don't explain really why they're picking who they pick. And so a little different on what I do here is I go a little more into the analysis and then how I came to the guys. So that's what you're going to get from me. And then I looked at who can hack to win. I just took the top 10 players that came against those key indicators or key shocking categories, and then, see who also did well and kind of cross-reference that. So with all that, let's talk about who we're looking at this week. So my top 5 stud plays, these are guys that are $9,000 and above in Draftkings. And the first one, from everything I could do from an analysis perspective, is Charlie Hoffman. There was some key things that I looked for in how they made the cut for my top 5. So the first thing was approach. They had to be ranked 50th or better, and same with putting. So that was the first thing. So the second was over recent history, or and I'm looking at the last 24 rounds. That's what I wanted to look at. Are they trending in the right direction? How they do in my model? And then recent results. So at the Shriners, we all know that, that was, you had to be 6 under or better. So you had to be 7 under. If you were 6 under, you were slamming the trunk and heading home. If you were 7 under, you made the cut. And so I wasn't so much worried about, how Charlie didn't make the cut there, but, had it with a correlation course with Corrales and Sanderson Farms. Everything was good. And the Northern Trust being a FedEx playoff event, had a T13. So I liked Hoffman. I liked also he showed up well in a windy condition, and we are going to have wind unless, it is Mother Nature, but everything that is telling us right now, it is going to be windy. Doc Redman also. So on approach, we all know he's a great approach player, great off the tee. Really for the cost, I think he's one of the best values at the upper areas. Where the putter is where Doc can struggle, but he can get hot with it. Again, same thing. 6 under, he just missed the cut, but has some nice finishes. 2 top 3s here. He missed the cut at Northern Trust, but also did well at Sanderson Farms. So I like Doc. Cameron Tregali, again, if you look at approach, ranked 11th, putting, ranked 3rd. Has done well. He had a DQ, but was actually shooting well. I forgot what the reason was off the top of my head, but he did have to disqualify from the PGA. It was some stupid little thing that happened. I think he forgot to sign his card or signed something incorrectly, but did make the cut at Shriners, and we know he had to go low there. He actually did real well with the putter for Tregali there. But yeah, and also you can see the projection ownership already. This is being recorded on a Tuesday around 1 p.m. Eastern. I will have a show tomorrow that will go a little deeper into the projections and also give you my hidden gems, the guys that are going to cost less than $7,000 and I think can do well. So just side note. Denny McCarthy. Usually everybody thinks from a putter, but from an approach perspective, he's ranked 15th and 11th. Again, trending up and, did make the cut at Shriners, had a nice showing at Sanderson Farms. Corrales, I would like to see a little better, but I think McCarthy is actually trending up. I think he's a play that you need to make up there. And then Peter Molinari, just at the threshold at $9,000. And again, you guys can see the rank all in my top 20, all trending up. And again, approach and putting is what we're looking for. And he also had a second place Sanderson's. He T5 at Shriners. I think he's probably one of the better plays here in this price range because you're going to have to go low if the wind allows for it. Then my mid-range guys, I like Adam Schenk. He just was out just at the 20th mark. Again, approach putting was what I'm looking at, still trending up, and hasn't missed a cut in his last 5 events. So I like Adam Schenk. Stuart Sink, we all know that, his game, he had that win at the Safeway, and he came up, I think, also pretty well. I don't know if he made my top 10 from win players, but this is a guy that won the Open, and, that was a while ago, but he does have the pedigree. The guy, when he's putting, he's earning a lot of DFS points. I mean, he's not a guy that typically I was always on. But I think the way his game's been going, he's someone that we definitely consider. He's right now under 8,000, and projection ownership is at 10%. And as you can see, over the last 24 rounds, he spiked it up. He had a little downturn at the Shriners, but he had a little break, and hope he just keeps going. Wes Bryant, again, approach ranking number 1 and 50th at putting. Wes ranked number 3. He is someone I'm outright betting. You can see, the smart money people that are doing the analytics are also seeing that. He did have a cut at the Safeway, but everything else was trending in the right direction. Arniban Lahiri. This one's a little on the edge, but because of the approach. But if you see, Arniban's actually been, he's helped me in the last couple tournaments. Had a T6 at Corrales. I think that's one of the closer courses that is, different greens, but Bermuda rough, Bermuda fairways, ocean course, kind of similar in length. So, I'm looking at it, as I mentioned, and right now it's, ownership is lower. So I like Aniban. I'm going to be putting him in some of my lineups. And then the Gim Reaper, Doug Gim, ranked 15th on my model. Again, approach. The putting was a little suspicious, but, when you start to get down in this range, you're going to have, there's going to be some open areas. And so the way I look at it is, hey, if the putting can just be a little better, everything else off the tee, around the green is solid. And I like some Doug Gim. And also, he's had a couple cuts. I don't like the Corrales one, but what I do like is that if he makes the cut, he's almost T20 and or better. And these courses, I think, are a little tougher than what he's going to be playing. And then my top 5 value plays, these are the guys $7,000 or below. And I like Hank Leboda, which came up on the models that you saw earlier. I think he's a really nice value. You're getting a player that is doing well in all these. He also had a T3 at the Bermuda last year. Right now his ownership projections, below 10. So that's good. I'm guessing that's going to go up as people kind of construct their final lineups. The putter is a little suspicious, but again, slow green. So, maybe he can do something with that. Wes Roach, he was a little on the edge for me, but the T8 here last year and also him being in the green, but the approach and the putting, the 2 key things I was looking for, but we know he can play this course. So, sometimes a little home, comfortable course that you've had success on in the past will, hopefully bring back that. But as you can see on my model rank, he was a little on the higher side, but I'm going more on this one with tournament history and hope that the putter heats up a bit. Will Gordon, which I think from tee to green is one of the better value plays here. He was hot there for a while and didn't have his tournament history here. I should have had a previous. He was kind of like everybody was playing him, and then, he kind of fell off and everybody kind of went back. But he makes almost the key thing. So he's number 1 off the tee in this field, gaining strokes. He's 23rd total, but his approach just is crushing my, 50 or better. And the putting is 41. So again, at this price range, he ranked 14th in my model. I like Will. The Canadian Michael Gillick, also again trending up. He had a 53rd here last year, so I'm hoping the course a little better. But you can see ownership's over 10% already. He ranks 17th in my model. And again, if you look at approach, putting, just all around from, and also his latest recent history has been solid. On these, I was just pulling up what they did at Bermuda, but he's actually had a pretty decent, recent history. So hence why the ownership is going up on him. And then Chris, the birdie maker, Baker. Again, approach is awesome. His putting is almost where I want at the 50. Again, trending up. Projection ownership's 10%, 6,500. He ranked 10 in my models, and had a T31 here last year. So I think, again, taking a field of, I think we have 130 guys. So it's not 156 field from everything I understand. So you're looking at a 50% cut rate here. So 50%, 65 guys are going to move on, 65 are not. I'm looking for the guys that are going to make the weekend, of course, and also guys that, I think this is one of the tournaments where anybody's live in the field. It's not going to shock me if someone that's, 150 to 1 wins this thing. But, we got to go on everything we know from what we can see from a statistical side to try and make our best predictions. And then my fades, I'm not even giving pictures for these guys, but Tyler McCumber, I'm fading him. You can see the trend down. He had a cut at the Shriners, and it wasn't, if I remember correctly, I did look, even though I think he's going to be somewhat popular because of the Corrales finish, he missed Shriners by quite a bit, and the putter was just killing me. And, around the green. And again, I think these are two areas that you're going to need to have. Henrik Stenson, I faded him at Corrales. I'm fading him again. It's not where, if you look, his approach and putting approach is great, but it's not been where it's, his game is just not where it needs to be. You can see 3 cuts out of the last 5 events. He hasn't played a lot of golf. He's playing this tournament purely because he lives in the Bahamas. That's why he played Corrales. I think he just wants to get some reps in for the Masters. For 9,300 and already over 10%, projection ownership, he's the name, one of the bigger names, biggest name maybe in the field. And so I'm just fading him. Purely, like I said, I just don't think his game is worth. I don't think it's worth the price. And then Rasmus Hogar, sorry. I think he's going to be more chalky than what he's at right now. A lot of the guys on the other, industry shows are touting him, or at least mentioning him, coming over from the European tour. But as you can see, recent results, he hasn't really done anything. I think these guys coming over at times to play in some events, whatever exemption or sponsor exemption, I'm not buying it. I don't see anything to me that makes me want to play this guy. So short, simple is I'm cutting him. The only reason why I even brought him up is because you're going to hear his name on other shows kind of touting. Then Aaron Wise, had a decent showing. I believe it was at Sanderson Farms. I think he had a 21 finish place, but he also had a T3 here last year, and I think he's going to be chalky. He's already at over 8%, but his game is nowhere near where it used to be. You can see the putters out, and the rest of these aren't terrible, but Aaron Wise at one time I think was going to be up there, hyped to be the next, like Morikawas and Woofs and Hovlands, and had a very good couple showings and then just started to fall apart. And so I'm going to go ahead and fade Aaron. And then at the end, not trying to make a hot take, but Brendan Todd, I'm fading. For this kind of price for Brendan Todd, over 11,000, projected ownership already almost 10%. I watched the footage. I didn't see the tournament last year, but I did watch a lot of the footage, anything I could find on it, just to get a better feeling for the course, how it plays, and how he did. And the guy just went off. And this was the tournament that he won that kicked off his winning streak of 2 in a row, plus almost had a third one. And then, before that, I don't think he won a tournament for 5 years, almost quit the game. So I'm, happy for Brendan Todd, but I've also been watching him quite a bit. And as you see here, you can literally watch it. The BMW had a T8, and then it's just been going downhill. And I think, this game, just as easy as you can lose it or be at your peak at one moment and start to fade. Even though at the green, if you see here, he's still kind of, flattening, but he's definitely took a downturn. And this is, again, looking just at the last 24 rounds. But yeah, the simple part is, I'm fading him. That's, my decision on that. And I think, I think a few, because he's the most expensive, him and Will Z. As you see, I didn't talk about Will Z. I don't think it's a bad play. But again, that's not how I'm going to start my builds. Now, will I have any? Again, I'll probably do 10 or 15 hand-built teams to go into the large GPP 100K winning lineup. That's what this is kind of positioned towards. I think you could play these guys in a cash lineup too. I mean, I'm not picking guys that aren't, I mean, everything I see and everything I can do, I'm picking guys that are going to do well. So, you can do either or, but I'm just specifically building the lineups for the GPP. I think Todd and Will Z, like I said, Will Z, I have a little different feeling on. I think, he could do well. I don't know if it'll be worth the price. I don't think he'll win it, but can you top 10? Yeah, for sure. So that's it. That's my plays and fades and all the information. Hopefully that'll help you build some successful lineups and cash in on all this good times for the Bermuda Championship. Next, we have the Houston, and I will be releasing a show tomorrow, a quick show, just kind of going over ownership projections, maybe some pivots and the hidden gems. If you are liking what you're seeing, please click the like button and share it with whoever you think might also, and subscribe would mean the world to me. I have just recently set up a Twitter account. A couple of my subscribers have asked to just communicate with me on some different things that they're thinking about, and I do check it, and so I will put that in the description. So feel free to follow me, and if you have anything that you're kind of him-hawing about, should I play him versus him or whatever it is, just hit me up on Twitter and I'll respond. So have a great tournament, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.